Hey, everybody, welcome back to Aces 53. And today is Thursday, which means we have a joker. But before we get to that, what's the best way you can help us? Click and subscribe. Share this out with your friends. Let us know what you want us to talk about, who you want us to bring on as a joker or a guest who has specialized knowledge or skill. And with that, who do we have today, Ed?
I don't know, but you just failed because you're only supposed to tell them to do one thing. You can't tell them to do 3 or 4 things because they'll do.
Just subscribe.
Just hit subscribe. Just help us support us by subscribing.
They don't know how to click.
Haven't you listened to Alex Hormozi? That's whole thing was in his thing. Oh, that's right. You read it, so you're a little bit slower at that.
No,
just tell them
only do one thing, which is subscribe.
Yeah, but you didn't just say one thing. You said and this and this and this. But anyways, move on. Let's get to somebody who knows what they're talking about because we definitely don't.
That's
all right. We Rob Anspach. I almost said Ron. What the hell is wrong with me today? How you doing, Rob?
Well, what's wrong with you? I made a list while I was backstage, but I also subscribed, so I did something right.
There you go.
Because I know how to listen.
Well, people, you tell someone, and this is what they say. They tell them all these things to do, they do none. But if you say, "Hey, please subscribe," they'll go and subscribe. But if you add all these other stuff, they're like, "What did they say for me to do?"
Yeah, it's confusing, and that's what we're going to talk about. All the confusing stuff that's on the internet today, right?
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about because we keep getting hit up through DMs or emails and all this stuff. Oh, I checked your website and your SEO is so bad. I'm not funny because I just had iHeart do it because we're doing something for the radio. And they're trying to sell me all the services, and they went, "Oh, you're okay. Yeah, oh, you're okay."
Yeah. So, or you get the constant. You need to update your Google My Business listing. And I love SEO. I love helping people with their SEO. But it's been so muddied over the last 9 years since my book came out because everybody wants to be an SEO master. And they're saying, "Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this." And I think people just get paralyzed. They don't want to do anything. They're like, "I'm just going to put up a website and be done with it." And they don't realize that there's a lot of stuff you got to do after that. I mean, Brian and Ed, you guys know I worked on both your websites, and there's a lot of stuff that has to go on in the background. Right. You're constantly adding new content, whether it be blog articles or updating pages. And a lot of times people are like, "Well, wait a minute. I just thought I could just give you some money and put a website up and be done with it." And Google likes to see that, updated information. And when you're posting blog articles, all those blog articles get listed and ranked and searched. And a lot of times that's how you're bringing people into your website is through those blog articles. But people are like, "Well, I just need a simple website, 3 pages, my content, contact form, and something else." And they don't update it. They don't put blogs. They don't have any social media icons that point people to Facebook or LinkedIn or anything. And then they wonder why they're not getting any traffic.
So for the equivalent of people, just like as an analogy, it'd be like having a nice book cover with nothing on the inside on the pages, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And people do buy them, but it's even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes, right?
Yeah. All right. So one of the things you're talking about is updating. So you talk about blog articles, right? Mm-hmm. There's companies who write those for you, or the other companies they can sign up and they get posted automatically. Are they just as good, or they have to be your own blog articles?
Here's the thing, to make it simple for you, just like we're doing this podcast, transcribe the podcasts that you've been on or the interviews that you've given and make them your articles. When you do that, it still has your voice. It sounds like you. And so when people come to these articles to learn more about you, they get to understand who you are. They see your personality. It's just like with Brian reading faces. They can read that article and know exactly who you are. But when you pay a service, the service is just going to put a generic, article. Mm-hmm. You have no control over what they write. There's no personality. And a lot of times it doesn't sound anything like you. So yeah, you're paying somebody to write for you. You're giving them kind of carte blanche on promoting you, but there's no personality. So when people come there, they're like, "Wow, yeah, this is okay information, but it sounds like a robot wrote it, and there's no personality. I can't detect whether Ed wrote it, Brian wrote it, a robot, Rob, and that needs to match the personality of the person that's featured on that website.
So long story short, do your own blogs.
Do your own blogs. Yeah.
Unless you sound like a robot, then you're okay.
And yes, there are people that have figured out, that they can insert personality a little bit into the Chat GPT to write their articles, but it still sounds robotic. It still sounds like somebody else wrote it. So do yourself a favor, spend a few minutes every day and just jot down your thoughts. Okay, what is this article going to be? And I always tell people, look, take 50 of your most commonly asked questions and turn each one into a blog article. And if you put an article out every 2 weeks, now you have 2 years worth of content. And so a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll just make their notes on their phone. They'll do the recording, do a video, transcribe it. And now they have plenty of content for the next year.
But the one that Ed hears the most is what's wrong with you. Sometimes there's cuss words in there too. So how does he answer that one?
Oh, he can make a list of what's wrong with him. I mean,
you already did. So we just got blog articles for 2 years. So it's
he said you can't let somebody else write it for you, Ed. You need to discover this and put it out for yourself.
I already talked about it already. So what he's telling me to do is, I don't know if you've heard about Cast Magic by now, right, Rob?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, it's pretty amazing what it takes your words and puts it back into different things. So you could actually tell it, because on that one software, you can go in there and create another section for what you want, a blog article, because it has a newsletter. The thing I like about it is because it takes your podcast, whatever you've done, and created a newsletter from what you said. It's just so much faster for you to help you. And it is using, I know it's got to be using OpenAI, just the way it's written, because everybody uses that, not Chat GPT, but that thing. And there's another way that you can do it. So just take because I do multiple lives, 5 days a week, plus the radio show, that I could just, from what you're saying, take that, add one more thing. Here's a blog, and put it up as a blog on the webpage.
Yeah. But one of the things that I always tell people, and I'm sure you guys see it all the time, up in the browser, you always see home and then whatever the website is. And home should never be there. Home should be replaced by what it is that you do, or what the benefit that the viewer is going to get using your service. And if they see home, Google's going to rank that with all the other home. And usually home is related to real estate. So people are searching, and they come across your website, and it's all with a bunch of real estate. And so unless you're a realtor, don't use home anywhere on the browser.
But if you are, should you?
No.
Okay.
No.
So they never use it.
Right. Never use it. So yeah, I see it. Hey, that's me.
That's me, actually.
Yeah, that's a scammer selling you SEO services.
Yeah, I didn't block him today.
So I went and looked. My website has home. So what did you say to replace it with?
Let me see. Your website?
Yeah.
Settleskills.com.
Right. I'll do that change after we're done talking.
Could have just put it on there.
Well,
could have just shared the screen there.
You have home in the menu, right?
Yeah.
But does it show up in the browser section?
Where's the browser section?
Up top. Apple will let me go to Apple first, because Settle. I can't even spell today.
That's why I had to buy Decode the Face.
So when I did yours, if you look on Apple, your browser up top says Subtle Skills, the art of decoding facial features.
Right.
So home does not show up there. Home does show up on your main page in the menu, and that's okay. But you don't want it to show up on that browser header, which is what Google sees and Google shows in the search results.
Got it. Okay.
So it is confusing sometimes, because people are like, well, wait a minute. So yeah, just like that, it's not in the menu. I mean, people think they should just take it out of the menu. It's okay in the menu. Home just means main screen, but it shouldn't be in your browser what we call the title description.
Right. So what you're saying is it shouldn't be anywhere in here to say home, but it's okay to have it over here
Right.
in your
'Cause
search
that's
area.
your menu.
Right.
And people will look for that. Home is basically your main screen.
Got it. But what you're really saying is for everybody watching, don't have it in any of these areas.
Well, you can have it there, but it's just, yeah, way up top.
Right.
Usually, like if I'm on Safari, it'll show me the header, which is the meta title
Got
that
it.
shows up in the Google browser. And so when you do a source code, you can actually pull it down and see exactly how things are laid out and what Google is searching.
Got
So
it.
if you had somebody else do your website, now you want to make sure that they did it right. How do you make sure that the metadata is correct? Is that
Well, the first thing I do, if you're using Chrome, you can go up to View.
Mhm.
Let's see, where is it? I hate using Chrome. I usually use Safari, but
well,
usually
for
you
this
can,
we have to use Chrome. So
I
sorry.
know it's just terrible. But
Unless
anyway,
you're on an iPad, then it wants you to use Safari.
yeah, where is it? Oh, so on Chrome, you want to go to View, Developer, View Source, and
Holy shit, there's a lot of stuff there.
yeah, there's a lot of code, but if you scroll down, let's see if I can scroll down. It won't let me scroll down.
Brian, do you have it up?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I'm getting ready to share it.
And then you can just look at Brian's, and then you can
Present, share screen, window. Where are we?
What if now we'll pull up your website and I can show people exactly what they should do?
All right, hold on one sec. Let me go. Let me do this. One more second here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
make it bigger because I can't see anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got to squint too.
Oh,
There we go. See, if you scroll down underneath, you're right there on line 20. I don't know what the number is. You'll see title, subtle
Yeah.
skills, the art of decoding facial features. That is your meta title. And if you had WordPress and you're using a plugin, in fact, on yours, you use the all-in-one SEO plugin. And there you can add your description and your robot, tell the robots how to search your website. You can even add, go deeper. And so what you want to do is make sure that when you're adding the, you also, if you go meta description, so if you see under all-in-one SEO 4.3.7, you'll see meta description. No, well, the up.
yeah. Okay. Description right here.
So, and then it says a company that specializes in teaching unique, and I can't see the rest of it, but that meta description and that meta title work in conjunction.
Okay.
So I always tell people, don't repeat keywords because you're limited to what I call keyword real estate. So if you have subtle skills or facial features listed multiple times, it's not really helping you, because when Google searches, they pull the information from the title and the description. And so if your description has different keywords than your title, now you're ranking for more words.
Ah, okay.
And so I always put a phone number also in the meta title or the meta description, because when Google lists you on their search results, you'll see, how everybody's ranking. And a lot of times people don't want to click on the website. They want to find the phone number quick, call it.
Right.
And if it's already displayed, they're going to click call. They'll bypass the website, but you're still getting them as a client.
That's awesome.
So there are simple things that you can do to enhance your website. The big thing though is constantly adding content, because it creates a user experience. And Google likes to see people going to your website and staying for a little bit. If they go to your website and they click out right away because maybe it's not a lot of content, not anything that keeps them attracted to what you're doing, they're going to leave, and Google's going to say, well, this website's not keeping people's attention, so we're not going to rank it as well.
We'll downgrade it.
Right.
Downgrade.
So if you're ugly like Brian, you have a problem.
That's right.
The thing is, ugly websites still rank because of the way they're coded, the way they're.
I was talking about his face, not his website.
Yeah. When he shows his face for teaching facial features all the time, that's great.
Yeah. Well, that's why I do it, right? Because I'm always pointing at someone else's face, because that way it detracts away from mine.
All right. So there's another thing that, in our group that someone says to do to your website, which is called Juicer.io. What do you think about that? That puts your social media at the bottom, like a recent Instagram. Is that updating? Is that enough?
Well, here's the problem with adding too much of your social to your website is that if your website gets hacked, if stuff that's on there you don't want it to be there, or maybe you were, drunk one night and decided to get on social, post some stupid stuff. Guess where it's going? On your website.
Well, that's okay. I don't have that problem.
So I always just like to have the icon.
Gotcha.
And get people to. But here's the flip side of that is that we put a lot of stuff on social media. Social media is not our platform. The website is our platform.
Right.
We want people on our website reading our stuff. But social media has trained us that we're going to share all of our stuff from our website to the social media, and people are staying on social media. They don't want to leave. And even the social media platforms are downgrading links back to our website because they want you to stay on their platform. So in essence, your job as a marketer or anybody that has a website is to get people on your website, and off of social.
And stay on your website. So putting your videos on your website that you create, other stuff that you do, podcasts, other stuff, so people can actually watch it and listen to it on your site is a better thing. Is there a problem about having too much on your front page?
Too much is better than not enough. So, but here's the thing is people don't want to constantly scroll. So especially when you're on a phone, if I'm there scrolling for 5 minutes and your page isn't ending, you better break that page up into multiple pages.
Right.
Have enough content, whether maybe 500 words, 1,000 words on your front page, and then get them to click on the next page and the next page. So if you have a testimonial page, a video page, frequently asked question page, whatever, all those pages, if ranked, if optimized the correct way, will rank. And so when people go to find you, they might land on page 3 or 4 or 5 of your website, not your main site, but you're still capturing them. And so every page should have some type of way for them to contact you. And I know right now a lot of people are taking their phone numbers off of their websites because of spammers and scammers. But at least have a contact form of some way to get people to come to your website or to contact you in some way. One of the things I like to do is have some type of questionnaire, not just name, rank, serial number. I want them to answer a few questions that I'm asking, because then I can pre-qualify them right off the bat. Is this person, right for my services? If not, I'm going to refer them to someone else or not even reply. But the goal of optimizing that website is really to weed out the customers that are just window shopping or tire kicking. And so if you just have a generic website and people are coming, or generically optimized website, and people are coming to your site, they could be the bottom of the barrel. They could be, people that have no money. And you don't want to waste your time trying to pre-qualify every single one of those. So having a website that actually caters to the people that you really want to target is so much better.
To know who your perfect client is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's like everything you do, you should only be putting that information out to those people.
Yeah. Well, it's, and I think that's exactly why some of these sites like Patreon started. People are paying for that information and you're getting the right type of client. They're paying you for that, and you're just delivering the content to that people that pay you. So the problem with Patreon and a lot of these other sites is that you put content on there, it's behind a firewall. You can't get to it. You can't even see it. You can't even search it because you're not paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get people to come to your site to know who you are before you can get them to take that next step of buying from you.
You and I talked before about blogs, which I'm horrible about doing, but
I know.
Yes, thank you for the affirmation. But you were also talking about people don't think to use backlinks, right? People think, oh, I'll post here, I'll post there, not realizing, yes, but like, for example, on YouTube, if you post something to YouTube, you can say, read more about it on my blog, on my website, then you can link back to your website. So you can, like you said, even if people are on social media, there's different ways to, one, if they're on your page and they want to see your social media, take a link to get you out there. But then if you have something on YouTube or other ways, get them back to your homepage as well. And blogs, as you mentioned, is one of the best ways to do that.
YouTube, blogs, a lot of times people, and this is going back a few years, but people are still doing this horrible thing on Facebook where they'll post something and they'll say, see link in comments.
Right.
The problem with that is if your friends share your stuff, guess what? That link in comments doesn't get shared.
Oh.
So keep that link where you want it to be. So when people go to share it, they're sharing the image, they're sharing the link, they're sharing whatever it is that you want them to share. Don't make people jump through hoops to try to find you.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So where should you put it? So if someone shares it, just in the video itself?
Yeah. I mean, if you're posting anything on social, post the link with the content that you're sharing out. Don't say see link in comments because nobody's going to find it. Yes, it may get downgraded, but the people that really like who you are and what you do, they're going to share your stuff anyway. And when they do share it, it's going to have that link attached.
Or if they don't like you, they'll share it too. So
yeah.
Either way.
Here's the thing is I want the audience to understand that there are different types of social media, and everybody knows it. They got, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and find the one that benefits you the most. For me, yes, I do post a lot on Facebook, but all my clients, all the people that I really want to attract are on LinkedIn. And when you start to post on LinkedIn, if you're posting frequently, Google will index what you're posting on LinkedIn. So when you go to search, a lot of times, what I just posted a day or two ago will now show up on Google in the search. So people now are finding me. Maybe they don't find my website right away, but they find my LinkedIn. They click on it, go to my profile, and then come to my website that way.
Wow. But
TikTok is starting to get searched through Google. Facebook is very limited. Pages will show up, groups sometimes, but your everyday stuff doesn't always show up.
Which is why you're a big fan of posting on YouTube, right? Since Google owns YouTube, they have a vested interest to index and promote that.
Yeah, and I like long form video, 4 to 5 minutes. I'm not a big fan of shorts, under a minute long. I know a lot of people do it, but my clients, by and large, are lawyers and doctors. They're not ADD. They don't want a short video. They want something explained to them. And so for me to make short videos doesn't make sense. Yeah, they get more traffic. And so sometimes I'll make a long video and then maybe cut it down in half and put it as a short. But when I'm trying to answer a frequently asked question, which by the way are how people search. So if people are asking me frequently asked questions, that's how they're searching. And when they search and their frequently asked question matches that video or that blog article out, they're going to land on you.
That's why I was searching all the questions before, and then I would do videos with the questions, and do it. And the questions are the same every month.
Yeah.
I mean, if you check the what's that, Ask the Public or whatever, or Answer, whatever it is, I look for, for months, give me the new ones. It's the same stuff as last month, as the month before and the month before. So it's only so many videos you have to do. But what I'm starting to do with my podcast and other stuff is I'll do the shorts, see which one goes really well, and then create a 3-minute to 5-minute from that, and then use that on there.
But here's the thing about
but those aren't my clients,
right? But
yeah,
anything that you put on YouTube, make sure that your title, is optimized. So, just don't put up this generic title, video 1. It's never going to get searched. Actually put it, this is how you make a video for ADD people. Okay. And then put your description. Under your description, put all the links that people can find you, whether it be your website, your social, if you sell books, your Amazon author page. But everything should have a link back to something. And I see so many people make videos and they don't have any descriptions whatsoever.
For the ADD one, you should make that the title and then just get distracted and talk about something else in the video. That's what you should do. Well, something you're talking about, I don't know why this just popped in my head while you're talking. What was you tell me, did your daughter do a video like on accident that she didn't mean to record and it just went viral? Was it about Disney World or something?
Disney has these called hand pumps. They have soap pumps, and when you press the button, it forms like a Mickey on your hand in suds. Well, she was making a TikTok video and she did it, and she had to do it a couple times because it wasn't showing the Mickey feature on her hand. It looked like smudge. That video, because it was an accident, but she has like 14 million views and people are giving her crap about it. I mean, people are nasty. They're saying, that's not how you do it. She should make a new one. And so she did. She made a corrected video. She kept the old one up. And the new one, I think, only has 3 million views. Only. Well, it does show that how to do the pump the right way. But sometimes your mess up video will go more viral than your corrected video. Use it. Take advantage of that and showcase that mess up video everywhere else.
And so the reason I ask that is twofold. One, Ed and I always talk about, if you try and over perfect everything, have the perfect lighting, perfect camera, everything else, that sometimes gets way less traction. Yeah. But I'm then curious, like, would you put blooper in the title, or would you say screw up? I mean, how would you title that video? Because people do like to see other people not do something perfect, right?
You can then go back and, if you want to change the title, I don't think you can change the titles afterwards.
No, on TikTok.
No. But you can put it on YouTube. You can put it everywhere else and just say, this is the blooper video that went viral. And then people will watch it again. And I think that there are too many people, especially younger generation, who believe that, just getting your phone and making videos, even if they go viral, they're going to make tons of money. Right. I know so many people whose videos went viral and they made $0. And granted, it does help with your credibility in some fashion, but by and large, you can't take any of that to the bank.
Right.
So, it's what you do to monetize that video afterwards and get it to be seen by more people is, if it's on TikTok, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, put it wherever, so people can see that you're real, you're raw, it was an accident, but it went viral. But if you want to see more of what I do, here's a link to my website, here's a link to this.
Mhm.
Now people think that you're credible because you're honest and you didn't try to overproduce a video. So now that's how I would kind of optimize that whole thing and make it even better.
Got it.
So question for you. A lot of people are worried about subscribers versus and views or this or that. What do you recommend?
I've never been a big analytics type. I don't look at the numbers. And here I am, the guy who teaches social media and SEO and writes books about it. But I think too many people get hung up on the numbers. They get hung up on the subscriptions. They get hung up on the views. And all they're doing is trying to improve upon themselves every day to make things better. And it drives them nuts. I've seen people make several viral videos by accident, and now they're forcing themselves to try to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, my goal every day is just that one person gets a benefit from what I'm doing. If one person contacts me or calls me or FaceTime, whatever, however they want to contact me, and they want to hire me, that's all that matters. Because I could have 1 million people look at my video and say, yay! But if no one buys from me, it doesn't mean diddly.
Right.
But if one person takes a video or looks at my video or my stuff or anything and says, Rob, I really felt compelled to call you. I need your help. That's all I care about. And I think that if everybody out there felt the same way, things on social, the people's views on viral videos would be so much different.
But they're not thinking that way.
No, because all they want to do is look at oh my God, how many people looked at my video? This is great. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, that was one because the algorithm, like for YouTube, right, with lives, they don't do anything with them. And the question is, should you still go live on YouTube? Because if you're looking at, how many people watched it, that kind of stuff, you might not have enough unless you have this subscriber amount. And we've been talking about that for a while.
I used to do lives on Facebook and YouTube years ago, and I stopped because I would put and I've watched other people do this. They'll get on Facebook or YouTube, and they'll sit there for 5 minutes and goes, we're going to wait for more people to join in. Really? I'm out,
Right. I don't wait.
We just go. Just you're recording it. I will see it somewhere else.
Right.
Just jump right in and start sharing the information. And, people will chime in when they chime in. And what I do is I put all my videos that are on my channel in a video feed, and I created that feed on YouTube, and then I just take that feed and I put it in my social scheduler, and it'll pull the next video, and it'll pull the next, and it shares it all out to everywhere. So they might not see the video when it goes live, but they're going to see it 100 times during the year somewhere else.
So we had a question on schedulers. Like I've heard some people say use the native app, so if you're going to go to Meta, use the Meta app. If you're going to use TikTok, do it directly through TikTok. Same for YouTube. What's your opinion on all that?
I use Social Bee. I like Social Bee.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to use the Meta scheduler. And I'd rather just shoot myself.
Yeah,
it is so horrible. I mean, if it was a choice between Meta scheduler and getting waterboarded 10 times a day, I'm getting waterboarded.
There's always an issue. It won't go. Your video won't do this or this. And I mean, TikTok and YouTube on the desktop, you can set them to go as far as you want.
The Social Bee is I have my stuff. I have my client stuff all on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell it what day to do this, what day to do this. I have things scheduled. What I do is I try to theme out the days. So I know exactly what's being scheduled on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday. And so I just have certain things scheduled on those days. And so, like Tuesdays, testimonial Tuesdays. So usually on Tuesdays, you always see a testimony of some sort on my clients' pages. Just make it easier. Thursday, I might have their podcast episodes. Sunday, I might have what's called weekend wisdom, where I share a quote that has nothing to do with their business, but it gets people to engage with their page. And, so I know exactly what's being posted everywhere, and it shares it to Facebook pages, Facebook groups, LinkedIn pages, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube. So yeah, I mean, I can go pretty deep with a lot of channels, but it saves me probably 20 hours a week when I have everything scheduled out.
So you like Pinterest?
No, but I still post to it.
I had somebody else, I forget who I was listening to, said that somebody said to them, I saw you on Pinterest, so I know you're real. It's like, really?
For a long time, everything that was posted on Pinterest would show up in the Google searches. Now, not so much, but I still have the stuff posted because people they'll go to Pinterest to look for stuff, and then they'll be like our ADD squirrel, and they'll get sidetracked, go down a rabbit hole, and next thing they know, they're looking at my stuff and how they got there. It's good to put your stuff everywhere.
Right.
But the same respect, a lot of entrepreneurs don't have time to post to everything.
Right.
So pick the 3 things that you really like to post to. Whether it be LinkedIn, whether it be X, Twitter, whether it be, Facebook. I usually just post to Facebook and LinkedIn. That's where I'm there most of the time. But my scheduler posts everywhere. So it looks like I'm posting 10 times a day on Twitter. It looks like I'm posting a couple times a day on LinkedIn and Facebook pages. But you got to be seen. And so with Facebook and the other social, basically only showing 1 or 2% of your stuff to your fans, you just can't, you don't have the luxury to post once a week.
Is it 3 times a day?
3 times a day. Yeah. My insurance guy posts 1 time a week. And I can't, who finds you? He goes, nobody, I don't care.
That's right. Because I'm still here because I got their check every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are businesses that still to this day don't have a website or social. I don't know how they operate, if by magic. But yeah, I mean, I just ran into a lawyer, and he wants me to revamp some of his content so he's not available to everybody. He only wants to be available to the 1% of people that can actually afford him. And so we're going to make it very hard for people to find him. We're going to, make his keywords so non-generic so that you have to be able to hit on a certain keyword for his website to show up. And I think that's what everybody should do, really. I don't think that we should be available to everybody. I think if your website is optimized perfectly, we're going back to attracting that right type of client. But, Google and Facebook and all the other networks out there have made it so they want us to be omnipresent everywhere.
That's how they make their money.
Yeah. And
that's why you get the AdWords. That's why you pay for the other stuff.
Yeah. The AdWords is great. It does get people to your website, but you're going to spend some money. Yeah. With the articles, with the videos, with your posts, that's organic. And now with AI, organic is going to be something that is not going to be a word too much longer, because a lot of people are using AI to generate content that they actually couldn't create on their own. So here's the thing is you're being handed a tool to help you create content when you really didn't know how to create it to begin with. So now everything's going to be screwed up. You're going to have content that doesn't sound like you, doesn't respond like you. But Google's going to say that's okay because it was created by one of our AI robots. No, we're changing the landscape of SEO to the point where it's out of the reach of the human. And isn't that the human is our prime target, is our audience. So things have to change.
Well, Brian can't. Is that me or Brian? I can't hear him.
I don't know. He's mumbling. No. See, we lost him to the AI.
He must have said something bad.
He got censored already.
He probably hit a mute on his mic or something, and he doesn't know it.
Maybe.
Oh, look at that. Shocking. Because it wasn't on the screen. It wasn't on the screen, so I know I had to be muted somewhere else.
No, I was going to ask, we brought you in to talk about SEO, but you've mentioned several things that you do for clients and customers. So you help optimize websites. You went in, you helped me with mine. What all services do you provide for everybody who's listening to you today?
Well, my primary service is sarcasm.
We know that.
Yeah, but that's free.
That's free. Yeah, but I should start charging for that. No, what we started out as, an SEO company, and that's what I love to do. And then social media came on board, and we started adding that because we're good at creating content. But people wanted more, so we started helping them with their blog articles. We started helping them with their books. We just published our 40th book in 10 years. And we have 3 more on the slate that we have to get done by the end of the year, which I'm running out of time. But, I help people with their marketing, not only online, but offline. Just like, Brian, you help people with their reading faces. I help people, to get that marketing out there so people can get noticed again. And so that's what I love to do. I've been doing this for 2.5 decades. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 3 decades. So I've been in this field long enough to know that, there are competitors. Well, people who say they do things similar to me, but they'll never do things exactly how I do things. So I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about is people using the wrong tools, such as AI, to help them build a business when they don't understand the concepts behind what that AI is going to actually do for them. You need to know the fundamentals of human psychology when it comes to keywords. And if you're using all the words that your competitors are using to try to rank, all you're going to get is customers that are looking for that generic word, and it may not be the customers that you're looking for. So, make yourself that picture of that avatar that you really want to go after, pinpoint exactly, what they mean to you, the how much they're going to spend with you, and the keywords that you believe they're going to use to find you. And what you're going to understand is that, when I come up with keywords, I use an acronym called APE, which is analytical, psychological, and emotional. And that's how people search. They don't search for generic keywords in your industry. A lot of times, these SEO people say, well, pick the keywords that match your industry. Okay, well, I'm going to rank for all these keywords. Your customer doesn't know those keywords. They don't know your industry. They've never gone to school like you have to learn, what you do. So your customer is going to search because they fear something. They're searching for something. They're in a panic. They got referred by somebody. So those are the keywords that you rank for. And when you rank for those types of keywords, you're going to get a better type of person searching for you that doesn't question who you are, that doesn't give you problems, that opens their wallet and just hands over a credit card. And it makes your life so much easier because they can connect with you. And you just made their job easier finding the correct thing that they were looking for. So I never rank for industry standard keywords because most of my clients, need to find that type of client that, doesn't want their competitor. They want, a precise help of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for that one company that can match to them, their exact problem or solution. So yeah, I'm not a big believer in trying to rank for industry standard keywords because that's what all the competitors are doing.
Makes sense.
So this was fun.
You talked all the time. We were just listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, the book that I wrote 9 years ago was called Optimize This, and it was based on my experience being a former carpet cleaner. And how that book came about was I was going to write a book. I had written a book on social media called Share, and I was going to write this book on SEO. And
I think I have it behind me somewhere.
And a buddy of mine from Canada was also going to write a book on SEO, and both of our how we do things is a little different. So I said, why don't we join forces, come out with this book, and over a course of 60 days, we got on what was Google Hangout at the time, and we just went back and forth. We shared our concepts and our stories. We transcribed it, became a book. We launched it at Christmas time, and 3 days after launching, it was #1 bestseller in U.S., Canada, Japan, United Kingdom, and I think somewhere else. And that book, the first book put me on the map, but the second book really, got me noticed all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, everybody's like, "Hey, Rob, help me with my book. Help me with this book. Help me with that book, and help us with our SEO." And that's what I've been doing. And but I've also been teaching people how to raise their prices, how to, command, better terms and conditions for what they do. One of my pet peeves is when people do the work and then bill afterwards, and then they wait 60, 90, 120 days to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a bank. Get paid now. Send the invoice, you get paid, and once you get paid, then you do the work. That's simple as that. And it's just hard to break that mentality because they're like, well, that's how we've always done things. Yeah, but you're 3 weeks away from going bankrupt. Start getting paid now.
Well, okay, so 2 questions. That is a good point. I know when I worked with the person who did my website, it was 50% up front, 50% upon delivery, right? So at least it kind of bridged the gap a little bit. Because there was one time I paid somebody to do something up front and they kind of just disappeared afterwards. So I think people have a little bit of fear of that. So I'm a big fan of the half down. And, as we make progress towards the goal line, then more money keeps coming in. How is the best way for people to find you?
Well, they can find me at anspachmedia.com. They can go on Facebook and find me there at Rob Anspach. LinkedIn the same way. I'm kind of all over the place. YouTube. And I am on TikTok, but I don't use it that much.
I see it all the time. It tells me, oh, you posted a video. And he sits there. Okay. You can tell he doesn't really want to be there. And this is not what I want to be talking about.
Okay.
But I was on vacation this last week, and the difference between Disney World and Universal Studios. See, I told you I'd love to.
See, you watch it. See, I help one person. I help
there
Ed.
you go.
Yeah.
No, because I'll never go to Florida to go anywhere outside unless it's during October when it's cool.
It was brutally hot, and it was
humid.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, we're not doing this again. We've gone almost every single month over the last several years, thinking that this month is going to be cooler. No. I think the only time it was cooler was in April of the one year we went, and it's even hot in December.
You want cooler? Fly to Irvine. Go to the Disneyland in there. That's
I
cool.
think
Go to
it's
land.
Disneyland. Yeah,
You can
I
still go to
actually-
Universal Studios and everywhere else too.
I actually like the Universal Studios in Hollywood versus the one in Orlando.
Hmm.
Nobody in Orlando is happy, so it's like too
No,
hot. They don't
so-
want to work.
Yeah.
Nobody was nice. They didn't answer my questions. So yeah.
See, you watch.
The
video.
problem with me is I'll fucking see something and unfortunately it's always in my head forever.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, it's good that my video can affect you like that, and I want other.
No,
people
I
to
just
know-
remembered what you
Did you
said.
say infect or affect?
Affect.
Yeah, I heard it both ways.
Affect me. And by the way, if you want to get a hold of Rob, just type in Rob Anspach into Google and you'll find him everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's the thing about good SEO is when you type someone's name into Google, they pop up everywhere.
Well, it's easier when your name isn't like Smith too, but yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
but
it's
there's
better
other
like
Rob
Ed
Anspach,
Parco.
which boggles me. I don't know why people would name people after me, but they do.
Well, when you're a legend like that. Now,
Yeah.
now you mentioned sarcasm earlier. So for anybody who doesn't know, your side hobby is to harass telemarketers and document that process.
Oh yeah, and I launched a whole book series called Rob Versus, and
Right.
it started out with Rob versus the scammers, and I just keep them on the phone, and the longer I keep them on the phone, the funnier it gets, and then I take those stories and I put them in the books, and there's 7 of them out there on Amazon now. You can find it at robversus.com. That'll take you right to the Amazon channel. And I have enough material to write 3 more books.
So do you get wealthy by writing books?
No, nobody gets wealthy by writing books. We get wealthy because we're handing those books out to people and they hire us to speak and they hire us to consult. And they hire us to, I didn't get hired to be on this podcast, but we do get, speaking opportunities through podcasts and that all helps too.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Plus, they make great SEO because Amazon's always putting them out there too.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree. Rob, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate it.
53 minutes of banter.
Yeah. And it wasn't a dry, and there's not a dry eye in the site.
I'll cherish this day forever.
Yeah, because I actually quoted your video. That's why. You cut this up later. So even Ed Parco watches my videos.
That's right.
Well, and it's about, just connecting with people, staying connected with people, helping each other out how we can. And that's what's important to me.
Well,
and that's
also,
why I do it.
and we started this out, and I'm sure you started it with others, but, yes, I am a jokester. Yes, I can be sarcastic. And that is my personality. And my personality became my brand. Mm-hmm. And I learned to channel that brand to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that forget that, without your personality, your brand is nothing.
Right.
And there's no way for you to stand out to get people's attention if you don't have a personality. So trying to be PC, trying to walk on eggshells doesn't work.
No.
Be yourself, get out there and take it from all of us. Because, Ed's great. He's everywhere. And Brian's everywhere teaching facial
features.
Yeah, features. But each one of us has.
God, you finished that because I was really worried there for a second.
I was just gonna wait and go, what's he gonna say?
Everybody has their own unique superpower. So learn to monetize it.
And you're nobody until you have haters. So
that's right.
That's right.
The more haters you have, the more
into my book.
Yeah. The more you'll go viral and the more your video will stand out there.
And Brian, what are you drinking? Vodka?
I wish. No, just regular water. Trying to keep hydrated.
All right. Well, I guess we've kind of hit everything today from SEO all the way to sarcasm.
And vodka. Yes.
And vodka.
Yeah. Well, you know why they started drinking vodka in the 50s, right?
No.
Because it took your breath away. It was the only thing you could have at lunch that didn't have a smell to it. So you didn't know you were drinking at lunch.
Well, I have heard the 3 martini lunch, but I didn't know that was the.
But isn't martinis gin? I don't know.
It can be
I
either
don't
or.
know.
It can be vodka or gin.
I'm
I'm
a
drinking
lightweight.
water.
If I do 3 martinis at lunch, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, but the back in the day in the 50s, the madmen, they could drink. I mean,
Mhm.
they drank all the time. And that's like, I can't even, a couple beers and I'm done. Yeah. And those are Coors Light. I'm just kidding.
Well, at least it's
Yeah.
not Bud Light.
It's only drinking problem is keeping electronics nearby.
Yeah, that's not a drinking problem. That's keeping the glass from falling over problem.
That's right.
Yeah, I spilt a margarita on my iPad, my Apple MacBook,
Right.
and I sent it in to get fixed. They replaced everything but the bottom cover with a scratch on it. I'm like, why didn't you just send me a new one? Because I got to keep those young kids working.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, again, thank you for being here. We're going to, it's been 55 minutes. I'm sure people have other things to do today besides listen to us all day.
No, they're gonna actually watch this. We're
Well,
listening to it 3 times today.
Yeah, they're going to put on repeat. And appreciate you coming in, talking about what you talked about. And we knew you were a world of knowledge, especially about Universal Studios and Disney World. Yeah.
That's right.
If you have any questions about those 2 things, reach out to Rob, and you can find Rob everywhere.
I go to Disney all the time. I'll be glad to help them.
I say, I don't. That's one thing I'll never do again. Theme parks.
We go once or twice a year.
Well, you're a better man than me.
Because every time, and here's the thing, every time I go to Disney, I'll be standing in line at some ride and somebody will call me and it becomes a huge sale. And it may be coincidence, but it's just every time I'm in line to ride. And just this last time, I got a call. Hey, we need a book. And this is what we're going to, and I say, okay, this is what I charge. And they're like, okay. And, next thing I knew, they're sending me an email. I'm sending them an invoice and I'm getting paid to stand in line ready for a ride.
So when it's slow month, right, you just start getting on booking airfare. You're like, aha, I'll fix this shit.
Yeah. And and every time I'm at Disney, I get a huge client. And so it seems like I get paid to be on vacation.
Hey, Brian, take us out because every time I do, he starts back up again.
All right. Hey, Rob, thank you for being here today. Ed, thank you for being here. Everyone, of course, this is Aces 53, and Rob was today's joker or someone with specialized knowledge or skills. So that's who we have come in on Thursdays, Tuesdays. Unfortunately, you have to deal with just Ed and I most of the time. But subscribe. Don't click to subscribe. Ed will correct me again. But just subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us here for more. Anything else?
No, that'll work. Thanks for being here, both of you. Appreciate you.